Yeah, he's definitely a player who loves his late game. Speaking of him, first I'll introduce his opponent. He is the Swedish player, I believe, from Carnegie Sports, Namshar.
Yay!
Also, look at this awesome logo.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love those.
And his opponent, as we were mentioning, the Scottish player, I believe, from Core Gaming EU, JonnyREcco.
Alright, let's see what the players are up to. Well,
Nothing too crazy. Nothing in the production tab actually for Namshar as I say that, so this is a little bit crazy. It is, of course, a 10 pool.
oh man, it's gonna be quick this time. Those sneaky Zerg. I wonder if Namshar must know that JonnyREcco doesn't rush. That's why he's going for this build.
Yep. JonnyREcco absolutely loving his late game. Seems like he'll even take a slight disadvantage just to get to late game because he knows his late game play is so strong.
He's going for a bit safer. He could go for hatchery first, which he didn't. He did go for a pull first, which shows that he suspects that something is up, or that he knows he's vulnerable at this specific point. But he actually goes for a hatchery. You can place a hatchery, it's no problem, because that can be easily cancelled, because the Zerglings would hit at the same time. And you have a quite good defensive position up in your base if you got a spine up. And that'll be really interesting to see. If he builds a spine, he will be in a great position. If he doesn't, man, it's a world of hurt.
I'm not sure if these overlords saw that. That overlord might not have seen it because I don't see any reaction coming out for JonnyREcco here.
No, it's a queen and 2 Zerglings. And they're not gonna do that much against. Well, there's 6 Zerglings, so they might be able to counter that. But
I think now he knows.
Let's see. He definitely knows. And the spine is going up here, and he will try to delay. Ooh, he noticed that there's banelings as well, so you need to delay this as long as possible. The spine is up in the mineral line, which is great, but that won't be ready yet for a few seconds. So it's 20 seconds now. So let's see if we actually can delay this.
Great micro there by Namshar, winning that small wing battle. The drones do go off. The banelings get off in some of the drones. 2 more banelings coming as well. Great split by JonnyREcco, minimizing that damage, but still. We see 7 workers who are even killed.
Well, that's fine. The players are actually tied in workers. No, 9 for Namshar and 8 for JonnyREcco, but it's cool anyway because JonnyREcco has the hatchery up.
Yep, so if JonnyREcco can hold this without taking any further damage, he'll be in a great spot. But of course, easier said than done, as there are banelings in his main base yet again.
Yep, they're going for the mineral line once again. But there's a spine there, and he can easily defend if any... oh, wow! 1 baneling sacrifice on 2 Zerglings? That would definitely not worth it. More banelings are morphing in. It's looking really, really intense here.
Yeah, any small mistake from either of these 2 players could easily cost him the game. We actually see Namshar droning behind this though, so this will be the last units he's aggressive with. But there are, of course, 5 banelings about to be here.
Let's see what they actually can do. The banelings are only good if they get connection. Oh wow! They're just running it around each other here, and the banelings are probably going for an attack now. 2 queen is out.
See what these guys can do. Of course, they don't want to explode on those queens because they don't do nearly as much damage. Now the drones are going to have to split yet again. Detonations are going to hit some of these drones. So now a total of 10 workers. 3 more went down to that initial further aggression. So now Namshar is up 4 workers, as you mentioned, but critically, JonnyREcco still has this base.
Well, he has 2 bases. So that's... yeah, that was what you meant, of course, no. But it's, that puts him in an awesome position. 2 base surge. Sure, he has a few workers short, but he will easily catch that up. With having the, he's building a queen right now. He has 2 queens already and a spine. So he's in a really, really good position here. And I feel it's up to Namshar to play catch up right now.
Yeah, we see. Yeah, JonnyREcco has both of those queens, 3 queens now. But he's actually not injecting his main hatchery. He probably doesn't have the money to support all that production anyway, so he's just keeping them in the front, trying to be as safe as possible if Namshar tries to follow up with another all-in.
Yeah, Namshar goes actually for an expansion right now, which is good for late game. However, if this continues like this, 3 more drones coming out for JonnyREcco, and he's in a really good spot. He will surpass the drones and drone production from Namshar any second now. And now the Baning Nest are coming up as well.
Yeah, great scout here by JonnyREcco. He's able to see the drone count, realizing he sees the hatchery, I'm sure, as well. So he's able to see absolutely everything, knows that another all-in isn't coming, so he's able to feel really safely, just building a Baneling Nest to be defensive, but otherwise just making more drones.
Yep. But there's 12 Zerglings in production from Namshar. I don't know. I think that is a mistake. He can't do anything with. He can probably snipe 1 or maybe 2 queens with this, but more than that, no, he won't be able to do it. It all depends if you get it. If JonnyREcco actually morphs a Baneling here, Namshar will be in an even worse position. But we'll see what this Zergling Rush can do, as they're actually entering the base right now and going directly for the hatchery.
Yeah, the queens are here defending that really safe from completely dying, but he is going to have to take care of these units eventually. Actually going to see him pull those drones back down, getting his queens in the fight. These Banelings are going to scare away these Lings so much.
Yeah, but there's actually nothing to do. They take so much damage of the queens. Oh, nice Baneling hit there. Cleanses the threat completely.
Yeah, absolutely great defense there by JonnyREcco. Now we look at the worker tab. He's still up by 5 workers, so Namshar is not out by any means, but he's definitely behind.
Yep. And there is going to be a counterattack right now by JonnyREcco. Some Zerglings actually going directly for Namshar's base. They're not be able to do anything. They might be able to... Oh, they picked up a Baneling, so that's quite good actually.
Yeah, not too bad there.
Anytime you sacrifice a Zergling for a Baneling, that's great.
Yeah, another Zergling is going to run in. Ooh, another one takes out a Baneling, so these guys paying for themselves quite well, seeing absolutely everything. He's able to see that 4 gases are mining, so Namshar is going to go pretty much as hard for mutas as he possibly can. He's actually not even going to have the money to support the mutas potentially, but this obviously makes him very vulnerable. Also makes JonnyREcco feel incredibly safe to take a 3rd base.
Yes, indeed. Wow. I don't know what could actually Namshar do to catch up from here. He needs to go for. He could go directly for air, but JonnyREcco could get a good defensive position up directly. So I don't know. It's tough to tell. Namshar actually going for air. He has a Spire on the way, so. But at the same time, JonnyREcco has us as well. And looking at the income for gas, JonnyREcco will be in the lead at the time when the other hatchery pops out. So I'm sure we'll be outproduced.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting because actually Namshar has the greater gas count right now, but with that 3rd base, JonnyREcco should have the greater gas income. So Namshar may actually start out with more mutas, but eventually JonnyREcco should pull ahead.
Yeah, but look how smart JonnyREcco is. He's just checking for the base. He says no one there that's going to be built, and he goes directly off to the Banelings. Oh wow, not a good Baneling hit there. Every time you sacrifice a Baneling for a Zergling, that's a great loss there for Namshar. So JonnyREcco is actually catching up when it comes to the gas income. They're almost tied. I think it's 100 that actually separates them. But Namshar has the first Mutalisk on the way. JonnyREcco is actually just second behind.
Yeah, both players making almost identical counts of Mutalisks here. But now both players have spent their gas. We do see 2 more mutas right now for Namshar, but JonnyREcco does have these gases as 3rd bases starting to mine, so he'll catch up in no time at all.
Yes, and it all comes down to now, will there be defenses in the bases? Are there going to be spores? Spores cost minerals, of course, so they're not that... They can actually be spent, but in the beginning you need the minerals to be able to spend all of gas you have stored up. And I'm sure actually supply blocked now right now, which is really bad for him.
Yep, absolutely. He's about to have his third base finished as well, so not too bad. But for him, but of course, we do see this gas income tab significantly higher for JonnyREcco because of that third base, which Namshar is just getting up. We do see a great job by both these players keeping the Mutas on their side of the map, clearing out all the vision of their opponent with those overlords. So it's really interesting. It's interesting because Mutalisks are supposed to take map control, but in these Muta versus Muta games, a lot of the times both players end up feeling super blind.
Yeah, but the Muta clouds are getting bigger and bigger. Now, actually, JonnyREcco is in the lead when it comes to Mutas. So he has to catch up to the full production, and he needs to hit the third base of Namshar pretty quickly or win the Muta wall decisively right now to be able to overpower Namshar. Otherwise, Namshar will actually catch up.
Yeah, we do see JonnyREcco is up by 3 Mutas, but of course he cannot chase those Mutas into that base where they could fly over a Spore Crawler, which absolutely shred through those Mutas.
Yes, they will. They're on the third base, actually unprotected. A Spore is coming up right now. I wonder if they actually be finished until they hit, but it doesn't matter because the huge Muta cloud is there, and that attack will be probably repelled very, very quickly.
Yep. Of course, both these players having the same gas income, so if they don't lose any Mutas, JonnyREcco will be ahead by 3 Mutas basically forever. So Namshar, it's up to Namshar really to make something happen to get an advantage in this game.
Yeah, but JonnyREcco actually has Namshar up against the wall. He's trying to poke every time, trying to get Namshar to waste money on stuff he doesn't want to waste money on. So it is a interesting situation here. Both players are actually posturing outside the bases, and looks like JonnyREcco tried to go for it.
Yeah, pokes in a little bit with those Mutas over that Spore Crawler, which is interesting, but there's just so many Zerglings there, and he's just going to try to go straight for the space before the Mutas can kill it, but it looks like these Mutas will be able to clean it up. So JonnyREcco losing a lot of resources there. But it's only minerals, of course. Yeah,
but at the same time, those Baneling hits got in on the third base. Man, those really hurts. He actually killed 9. Oh wow, now it's a Muta versus Muta wars. It's good that JonnyREcco is positioned, Namshar actually positioned his Zerglings below just to catch up on the bounces. And it looks like Namshar is winning this.
Yeah, it was actually a horrible engagement for JonnyREcco. By engaging over those Zerglings, they absorbed some of that Mutalisk Glaveworm splash damage, or bounce damage I should say, so all of a sudden JonnyREcco is significantly behind as he's down by 10 Mutalisks.
Yeah, it's not a good position to be in at all, and now the I think the sides has been turned here because JonnyREcco is in a horrible position right now.
But now Namshar taking a horrible engagement on top of these queens with transfuses keeping most of those Mutalisks alive. And all of a sudden, I guess the
tables have turned once again.
again.
What a game of back and forth. This is really, really exciting here, and I think it's going to be decided on the first of all the Muta war, and then the fourth base, if they're going to be a fourth base, because that's going to be an extremely vulnerable moment for both players when they're trying to get that. And it seems like, oh, sorry, I missed that completely. That JonnyREcco actually have his fourth base up and also spores, whereas Namshar actually puts his base up right now.
Yeah, it was really interesting for JonnyREcco to take that engagement. It almost looked like a desperation engagement you would take if you're behind. Maybe he didn't realize he was ahead at that moment. But of course now, if he's able to get this fourth base and mine some more gas off of that, he'll be able to get back ahead in that Mutalisk count. And actually, he's just trying to transition into Infestors because he realizes he is going to be behind in that count for a significant amount of time.
Oh, that is actually a really good thing. A good fungal can turn everything around. So the Infestors are quite vulnerable if you get a good spread on the Mutas, but if you get that one single hit, it means so much.
Yeah, you fungal that Mutalisk flock once and all of a sudden, poof.
Yep. And I think that Namshar actually discovered the base now for JonnyREcco, and we have the Namshar actually read of 31 Mutas versus 17.
And
But never
Johnny
mind
is
that.
going to be able to take out the 4th base of Namshar, while the mutas for Namshar right now aren't able to get too much done, but that's so huge. But I think this Queen Mutaforce is enough, as this base does go down.
Wow. That was really, really good engagement there of just producing more Zerglings and ignoring actually going for mutas and going for the run-by. Now, JonnyREcco is definitely in the lead because he has so much gas income. And so it's just going to be a few minutes here until he's actually catching up to Namshar, but he isn't trying to catching up. He's going for infestors, and he got 7 of them on the field.
Yeah, absolutely, and these mutas are going to be in serious danger. Oh, they're getting really close. Ooh! First one does miss, and now he's splitting these mutas so they can't all get fungled at once.
Oh, this is looking to be the good engagement. All the Zerglings getting caught.
Yeah. This one goes there. A couple mutas getting picked off. Oh, nice clump over here. And he's going to chain fungal this clump and make sure that shunt clump will die. So
Wow,
many
what a
queens.
huge pile.
So many transfuses.
Really good micro here from JonnyREcco. He actually transfuses every unit that is dying or getting low on health, so that is really, really great. He gets his posse of queens just following the mutas everywhere. Look at the creep spread here from JonnyREcco, slowly moving his way over to Namshar's base.
Yeah. Of course, that creep spread does make your opponent's units faster, just like it does yours, but it doesn't affect those mutas, and also it does grant that vision, so sometimes it is still worth it in CVZ.
JonnyREcco really going for it. He's going for 5 more infestors.
Yep.
Putting up
And
to
he's-
12 infestors. Wow.
We actually see Namshar now going for that hive. He's getting his own pathogen gland, starting his Zergling upgrade, so he's going to try to transition out as well, realizing he probably doesn't want to fight on this infestor army with just those mutas.
Oh, JonnyREcco going for burrow. Love that.
Zergling's going absolutely everywhere for JonnyREcco, and they're actually going to take down the queen at the 3rd base. Now they're just going to... The drones are just going to engage them, so that's going to be some serious drone losses. A few more drones going down there.
Yep. Everything counts when it comes to doing harassment. You need to keep on top of your opponent still. Killing the queen, sure, disrupt a few larvae, but the production isn't that good anyway from Namshar. What you should be going for is the extractors, the gas extractors, or the base. That's even better.
Yeah, the saving grace for Namshar there is, of course, both these players going for mutalist versus muta. They have to invest almost all their resources into those mutas. So they weren't able to invest in things like Zergling upgrades. Since those Zerglings were only 0-0, the drones were actually able to clean them up rather easily. But of course now all these players are going for these upgrades, as more Zerglings are going to go into both the natural and 3rd base of Namshar.
Yep, but JonnyREcco has the Ultralisk Cavern almost done. And then we actually force an engagement. More Zerglings actually streaming into the base.
Yeah, he's actually going to snipe he's going to try to snipe this melee attack upgrade. It looks like he's not going to get it, but he's actually just going to get the 3rd base.
Oh, that's really good. Good run by.
Yeah, Queen's going down at the natural as well, even the Spine Crawler potentially. Just so much damage being done by these Zerglings.
And it doesn't even have the adrenal glands yet, so it's going to be really scary to see what they can do with that.
Absolutely.
The plating upgrading is going up for Ultralisks. 8 Ultralisks in production. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when these pop.
Yeah, and what does Namshar have to fight off these ultras? Honestly, what do any Zergs have to fight off ultras besides like swarm hosts? These mutas, sure they fly, but it's going to take them so long to get through that armor of those ultras.
Yep, it's going to be really hard for them to do anything, especially when they're actually being guarded by so many infestors.
Yeah. Those infestors just represent a death trap. If you guys fly anywhere within 10 range of these, you will die.
Yes, indeed. And now is the question here. Will JonnyREcco try to go for an all-out assault with these? Or is he going to split them up and leave some at home, just be able to delay the attack? Because Namshar will do a counterattack. He has his own infestors right now. Ooh, almost catching JonnyREcco's mutas there. Ooh, he does!
Ooh. Yeah, JonnyREcco, he might actually just be giving up the supply, to be honest. I don't think he even wants these mutas anymore. He's just, what's he going to replace them with? A few ultras and some drones, interestingly.
Well, I think he's actually going for more and more defensive structures and just focusing on the ultras and infestor and queen mix, which is really, really good. Because as you said earlier, if you have mutas, they can't do that much against that, because you're forcing the mutas to actually engage you.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if Namshar is even aware that the ultralist count is getting so insane. Because he's just building, right now he's building queens, a couple ultras, but it's so many
I think
ultras.
he will know. Oh.
So many infestors as well. 12 infestors in that clump. Single muta showing up over here.
Just trying to get rid of that supply, and suddenly Namshar knows everything. He saw it all with the Zerglings, and it's time. It's time for the engagement. Who will win?
Oh
the big clump of mutas. Wow! He's going for a direct attack. Namshar has his own Ultralisk, and his Ultralisk versus Queens and Infestors, and look at all the infested Terrans! Wow!
His own ultra's getting trapped in his infested Terrans, but it doesn't matter. All these mutas taking so much damage, some more of them getting fungled as well. And there's just absolutely nothing to stop these ultras. They're just going to eat up absolutely everything, even the other ultras.
Oh man, they're just carving their way through everything, and this is a very weird battle here, but JonnyREcco takes it. Wow, really good play here by both players, and very much back and forth.